Hi, everyone. This is Shane here. Just going to talk a little bit about an overview of this section of our slides this week, which is all about the student strategies, and really specifically, already kind of stated in the previous video, just that we're not talking about the instructional strategies to like access the content, but we're really talking more about the learning strategies and you modeling your thinking to then help the students become more independent in their learning, be thinking about that gradual release that we've talked about, which is the kind of I do to we all do to you do, and we're trying to get that release to where students sort of embrace their own kind of learning strategies to make meaning of the new information. So in the rubric, that includes the idea of the learning strategies that are multiple rounds of opportunities to use those, the scaffolding techniques, which we're going to get into, talking about academic kind of conversations for student-to-student interactions to promote their thinking, and then also just questioning strategies to promote higher order thinking skills. So in terms of what we're talking about in that kind of overview, this is in chapter 5 in your SciOp book around strategies, but there are these certain kind of levels of strategies that we have to model for our students. And so that includes the idea of how to organize your information, and this includes all levels. This is K-12. And previewing your text, and you as the teacher modeling how to preview that text and walk through distinctly like a book and an overview of what to look for, highlighting and underlining various note-taking techniques. In addition to that, we were talking about the metacognitive strategies. So how to move from like modeling to truly like a think aloud. And we're going to watch a video on that. And then also like the idea of reflecting on what you read about, making those connections, making predictions for where you might go, and then monitoring your learning and asking yourself questions along the way to make sure that you're understanding what's happening. Oftentimes as teachers, we have a tendency to kind of go quickly through something because there's like a time frame, but how to really be aware of that. And then, of course, embedded throughout in terms of strategies, we have the language learning strategies that include the analyzing, looking at, again, more specific, utilizing context clues, goes back into vocabulary and how are we making those connections, and, of course, gestures as well. So we're going to be looking at that. We're going to be looking at kind of just an overview of the reading comprehension strategies and how you make sense of your own kind of reading comprehension. What are the tricks and techniques you use? How can you be aware of bringing those to your learners? Then we're going to watch a video on how the difference is between just modeling to doing a true think aloud. And then we're going to actually look at a technique to promote more academic conversations amongst your students that moves beyond sentence frames and gets more specifically into having an actual conversation. What are kind of the levels of the conversation so that each student sort of has a role or knows how to navigate roles within that conversation to help build their understanding.